What is something that's never happened before, right? I, for example, have never gone outside. All of this running thing is just a giant ruse to convince you that I have. There are other things that have never happened, like me eating 3 round square meals in a single day with no snacks outside of it. And something else that's never happened. A club in Europe has never had an unbeaten treble, where every single competitive match they play for an entire season, they do not lose. But I have some amazing news, as you probably are already aware of. That's going on right now, and it is 7 matches away from completion. An unbeaten treble. Every single competitive match you play in every single competition, including a European one, you don't lose in any of them. It is and should be impossible, particularly for a club that had never won a major European league before. If Bayern and Real Madrid and Barcelona and Manchester City and the old Manchester Uniteds, right, none of them were able to figure this out, then it should not be possible for Bayer Leverkusen. And the reason that I'm bringing it up right now is because the journey to this unbelievable milestone has gotten markedly more insane over the past week and a half. So if you're not paying attention to it at this point, you hate fun. You are against anything. It is not perhaps, the single most impressive thing I've ever seen, right? In the way that it is happening is a 1 in a million shot. So let me lay it down for you. They won the league already, right? They ended Bayern Munich's 11-year streak of winning the Bundesliga. Bayer Leverkusen, led by Xabi Alonso, won its first ever Bundesliga title without having lost a match. They're in the DFB Pokal final. They're in the Europa League semifinal. That's where everything is, and they won it 5-0. It was after that 5-0 win to clinch the league that things have gotten particularly insane. Okay, because there's been 3 matches since then. The first one was a Europa League match at the London Stadium against West Ham. Now, they had a 2-0 lead on aggregate, which meant technically they could lose the match 1-0 and still advance to the Europa League's, semifinals and beyond for the treble. But that would, of course, defeat the purpose with a defeat, because they would no longer be undefeated, right? They would be on Feet Picks Finder or whatever that website is. They would have achieved a defeat. Actually, I guess if you're defeated, then you're no longer on Feet Picks Finder. I think I had that backwards. And they took the lead. West Ham took the lead. They were trying to steal the joy and the glory of all of this, and they had the lead for the vast majority of this match, scored in the 13th minute. Mikel Antonio. Now, of course, West Ham is chasing a second goal, right? West Ham is chasing a second goal to try and send this to extra time, right? Because they're down 2-0 after their trip to Germany. But in the 89th minute, Jeremy Frimpong scores. And everybody's sitting here thinking, oh, how unbelievable is this? How crazy is it that Bayer Leverkusen was able to find an 89th minute goal to make it 1-1 and stay undefeated? But all of the people that are saying that, had no idea what was in store in the 2 matches after it, because the 2 matches after this made this look like a normal walk in the park. On the road, European quarterfinal, 1-0 match, and not only do you manage to not concede a second goal to West Ham, you manage to find a goal to create an equalizer so that no team can say that they have defeated you on the field of battle, right? But that brings them to a couple of Bundesliga matches that everybody knew were going to be difficult, because you have a European quarterfinal in the midweek, and then you've got a road trip to notoriously difficult to play at Borussia Dortmund on the weekend. Side note, this is all building up to your revelation that I am apparently clairvoyant, but we're going to get to that later, because I had no clairvoyance about the Borussia Dortmund match. So that match started off with total lethargy, right? There was nobody running, nobody moving. It was one of those games that is the result of over-congested playing schedules where both teams are tired. Borussia Dortmund had just played in the Champions League, right? They're still going there. And so you had 2 teams coming out of midweek European matches that were just going through the motions in the first half. I mean, they obviously wanted to win, right? But Leverkusen's also sitting here having already won the league. So the only motivation in this game for Bayer Leverkusen is to keep that unbeaten season alive. I mean, you want to win every game that you play, but they've literally already raised the trophy, right? Like Bayer Leverkusen popped the champagne. They broke out the slip and slide in the dressing room, right? Like they've already gone through that whole process. So that can also create some complacency, which they then needed to overcome, because late in the match, Nicholas Füllkrug scores in the 81st minute. And when this ball goes in, you can feel a collective groan from the entire world that's paying attention to this at this point. A collective groan. Because now it's, all of a sudden we've gone from a tame 0-0 to Borussia Dortmund's about to do it. Right? They're about to do it. They're going to do it in front of their home fans. This Dortmund team is clearly resurgent with the run they're putting together in the Champions League. Like, this is a team that is dangerous in a stadium that is dangerous. And a striker in Füllkrug, who's a meme, but also dangerous, right? He is a meme, but you can be a meme and be dangerous. And this one gets really late. This one gets tantalizingly late, right? There's no heroics in the 89th. Or the 90th, or the 91st, or the 92nd, or the 93rd, or I am going to keep going. The 94th, the 95th, the 96th. No, we have to wait until the 97th minute when Bayer Leverkusen gets a corner, and it is a brilliant corner, right onto the forehead of Stanisic, but honestly, there was like 4 different guys there. And Bayer Leverkusen fumbles the ball into the back of the net. And unbelievably, in consecutive matches, they have pulled a draw from the jaws of defeat. Such a tough match to play. Right after your midweek European match. Nothing to play for but the unbeaten season. But that weight of history, instead of weighing them down, is kind of lighting a fire underneath them. They're the ultimate mentality monsters. The game is never over until it's over. They fully believe that they're going to score, and I believed too, because we go into the next match and it is another super, super difficult one. Because if you don't know what the standings look like in the Bundesliga, allow me to enlighten you like Martin Luther nailing 95 Theses to the door. I'm nailing the Bundesliga table into your brain. Stuttgart's in 3rd. Dortmund's down here in 5th. This is Stuttgart right here. And that is the next opponent for Bayer Leverkusen. It's a brutal run. So they do have, 6 days off between the match against Dortmund and the match against Stuttgart. No midweek match for them, but they do have to play against Stuttgart. And once again, we're going scoreless in the first half. Scoreless in the first half. But my phone starts to blow up because Stuttgart scores 2 goals right out of halftime. But you already know where this is going, right? You already know where this is going because, my goodness, we're talking about how they're on the run for an unbeaten season. So, of course, they're going to come back, but the way that they do it, it continues to get more absurd. 57th minute, they are down 2-0. Almost immediately, Oddly pulls one back. 61st minute makes it 2-1. This is Bayer Leverkusen at home against the 3rd team in the Bundesliga, and they are up against it again. And we get pretty late. And in the 89th minute, I begin to channel my clairvoyance. I tweet, "You just know Leverkusen's about to score." I tweet this with a picture of in the 88th minute with Leverkusen down 2-1. No, I've never believed that I had the sight, the vision, that I could read the future, that I was going to be that professor in Harry Potter sitting there looking at the death sign in some sort of bowl. I never really understood what was going on in that scene anyways. But I never thought I was that person, right? I don't wear glasses. I've never been described as particularly zany. Perhaps I should be. Maybe I should lean into that more. Maybe I should try and tap into that more. It's like a well of underground water that I've just discovered for the first time because I just had a premonition. I had a feeling while I was sitting literally on the toilet and I tweeted this out. And y'all tell you what? I'll tell you what. I was right because entering into extra time, Bayer Leverkusen was still losing. 5 minutes of extra time listed, but there's so much plot armor for Bayer Leverkusen that they would go even farther than that. I was not the only person that exhibited incredible premonition and foresight about this. Bayer Leverkusen has done this so often all season that people could just tell it was going to happen. They've scored 14 goals in past 90 minutes in matches this year, which is an insane number. This person tweeted, "Watch someone random like Andrich score with the last kick of the game." You'll never guess who scored with the last kick of the game. It was Andrich. In the 96th minute, past the 5 minutes of stoppage time, they get a corner. It bounces out to Andrich, who's sitting 7 yards away from the goal, and he just rifles it into the back of the net. Nobody near him. A hint of fortune, a hint of destiny, a hint of absurdity. And for 3 consecutive matches, Bayer Leverkusen has scored a goal 89th minute or later to keep their unbeaten season alive. I am going to pull something that I've pulled describing this for the second time. There is that announcer's call of the league-winning goal by Sergio Aguero. I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again. You will never see anything like this ever again. Even if a team does manage to have an unbeaten treble, which they are unbeaten for 46 straight matches this season. Right? Every single match, a midweek cup match, a rainy Tuesday in the freaking Europa League against the team that's like all of those matches, every single one of them, they have not lost. They have not known pain. They have not known defeat, and they are in line to win the 3 competitions that they are currently participating in. The way they are doing it, though, is second to none. And when you write it down in one place, it becomes particularly absurd. Bayer Leverkusen late goals to deny them from losing this season. All of those. 94th minute against Bayern, 94th minute against Karabakh, 94th minute against Augsburg, Leipzig, Stuttgart. Both times they played Stuttgart. They were losing to Karabakh and they scored 2 to end up winning the match, right? 3 different matches against Karabakh they had to score in order to not lose and then potentially to eventually win. And then the last 2 matches, and what is officially tallied is 97th minute for both of them, because this goal was like right at the end of the 96th minute, so I've seen it listed both ways. Right, but it was definitely the last kick of the match. I mean, it was a corner, and if that corner is cleared, the match is over. This team is unbelievable. Xabi Alonso's done a ridiculous job, and we are seeing something. This is not, the treble. Only a few teams have done that before. Unbeaten in the league, right? Something that is, up until this point, regarded as like the most insane thing you could do. No, this is unbeaten in everything. Everywhere. All at once. I mean, this is going to win an Oscar, just like that movie, right? Did they win an Oscar? I don't know. I've never seen it. It seems confusing and it seems like a headache, but also it won a bunch of awards, so I'm sure it's a great movie. This is ridiculous. Regardless of my lack of movie knowledge, this is award worthy. This is unbelievable. Nobody's ever done this before, and I can actually say that. You know how unbelievable it is to be able to say that's actually true. Right? Because people say that sort of stuff all the time and they don't mean it. You can mean it with this. Nobody has ever done this before. And of all of the teams, like you want to talk about 5,000 to 1. If somebody was giving you odds on Bayer Leverkusen being the first team in European history, right, to actually have a perfect unbeaten season in every competition, the first one ever, you'd be talking about way more than 5,000 to 1. That's what we're looking at here. They are 7 matches away from doing it.